And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineups for today's game. First for the visiting Mansfield Tigers. Batting first at shortstop is number 3, Omar Jackson. Batting second at second base, number 2, Jarrett Russell. Batting third in right field, number 6, Grayson Pedro. Batting fourth, designated hitter, number 19, Robert Shaw. Batting fifth at first base, number 20, Adam Strawn. Batting sixth, the starting pitcher, number 12, Cameron Loy. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 21, Cade Fletcher. Batting eighth, in left field, number 10, Nick Ellington. Batting ninth, center fielder, number 8, Garrett Razor. The starting third baseman, number 15, Caleb Stanley.
And Jerry Matters as the Beaver.
The Tigers are led by head coach Randy Davis and assistant Chris Wiley. The student manager is Madison Scherer. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Lamar Vikings. Batting first at second base, it's number 11, Cameron Weil at second. Batting second in center field, number 2, Kyle Foster in center. Batting third behind the plate, number 24, Jose Gutierrez at catcher. Batting fourth is shortstop, number 9, Sean Kelly at short. Batting fifth, first baseman, number 15, Braden Chambers in first. Batting sixth, the starting pitcher, number 8, Bryce Cox on the mound for the Vikings. Batting seventh, designated hitter, number 20, Preston Gomez, the DH. Batting eighth at third base, number 7, Brendan Schaefer at third. Batting ninth, left fielder, number 5, Amir Abdallah in left. The starting right fielder, number 4, Matthew Clark in right. The manager is Johnny Pagan. The coaches are Stephen Kelly, David Evans, and Paul Kino. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise as you're able and honor our nation's flag and remember all of those who have served our country so proudly to preserve our freedom as we play the national anthem. Baseball fans, and welcome to this broadcast of Lamar Viking Varsity Baseball, brought to you by the Tilting Camera. Brought to you by the Lamar Baseball Booster Club. I'm Bill Frawley. Going to be flying solo tonight. Don't have a broadcast partner with me, so hopefully everything goes off. I've got 3 wonderful assistants up here helping me in the booth with scoreboard and spotting, and we might just surprise one of them by putting a headset on them. Tonight's game is going to feature the Mansfield Tigers at the Lamar Vikings here at the Diamond on the campus of Lamar High School. It turns out to be a beautiful night for baseball. It's about 70 degrees outside, After some stormy weather around the Metroplex earlier today, it was rain down in Mansfield, where the freshmen were supposed to play at about 6 o'clock this evening. They had enough rain that it got their field too wet for playing conditions. That game is being delayed until tomorrow, hopefully right around 6 o'clock still. This game being played under a beautiful sky, fairly strong wind out of the southeast it looks like. Probably swirling around, but probably going to keep some potential home run balls inside the park. 2 players have been moved up from junior varsity to the varsity squad for tonight's game. Matthew Clark going to be playing right field, and then Preston Gomez going to be designated hitter tonight. He's had some success at the junior varsity level. He's knocked at least 1 or 2 out of the park so far in some games. And we're about ready to get started here. Starting battery for the Vikings tonight behind the plate, number 24, Jose Gutierrez. And on the mound, your starting pitcher for the Vikings, number 8, Bryce Cox. Leading off for the Tigers, shortstop number 3, Omar Jackson. So Omar Jackson's going to lead off. Now the Vikings are 3-3 in district play, which is what counts for getting into the playoffs. The Mansfield Tigers are 2-4 in district play. And I'll go over some of the standings here in a little bit as we have time. First pitch in there for strike 1. Today's first pitch temperature, 70 degrees. So Bryce Cox gets ahead of the first batter with an 0-1 count. Now time is called. We have some pitchers for our team and some for others that move pretty quickly. Some are a little bit more deliberate, and that will cause sometimes the batter to call timeout as they get tired of being in that frozen position. And that pitch is going to hit him on one of the shins, it appears. So he'll take a base, and the first batter is on being hit by the pitch. The next batter is number 2, second baseman, Jarrett Russell. So now Jarrett Russell, left-handed batter, comes up to the plate. Nobody out, one on here in the top of the first inning, just underway. This game between the Mansfield Tigers and the Lamar Vikings. That first pitch to Russell outside for ball 1. Bryce Cox throws over to Braden Chambers at first base, keeps that runner a little bit honest. That's Omar Jackson. He gets back safely in time. Count 1 ball and no strikes to Jarrett Russell. Another throw back to first. Jackson makes it back in time again. Now, typically, the first game of a week in a series, and of course 2-game series this week against Mansfield, typically Bradley Missel would be the starting pitcher in the first game of a series. Unfortunately, he's out apparently with some undisclosed injuries. So Bryce Cox got the call to be the starting pitcher for tonight's game. Bryce has had a little bit of pitching work earlier in the season in relief, and some of the tournament games as well earlier before district play started up. Bryce typically starting at third base for the Vikings, but on the mound tonight. 2 balls and no strikes to count. There's a ground ball hit sharply just off the glove of Braden Chambers, who dove for it. That's going to go down as an infield single. Hold on. They called him out? Oh, that's got the coaches and the fans really upset. They're saying, I believe, that he tagged him. He was definitely off the bag. Nowhere, just in complete openness. Chambers was pulled off the bag, was nowhere on it. And I don't even think he tagged him. What's that? Oh, Bryce. Okay, so Bryce Cox went over to try to field the throw from the second baseman, Cameron Weil. And so apparently there's going to be 1 out now. The next batter is right fielder number 6, Grayson Pedro.
So the fans and the coaches very upset, and so far I'd kind of have to say maybe rightfully so. That'll officially go down as a 4-1 to get that batter, number 2, Russell. First pitch to Tatro is in there for a strike, so Bryce Cox now getting ahead of 2 of the first 3 batters with a first pitch strike. No balls and 1 strike. Now there's 1 runner on at second base, it's Omar Jackson, and 1 out. Very, very interesting call there at first. The next pitch, curveball, hits the outside corner for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Like I say, that last call caught me completely surprised. I was already saying it's going to go down as an infield single, and all of a sudden I hear people yelling and screaming. And there is 1 out. Pitch misses just barely upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There are still fans talking about that. And frankly, I'd have to say I don't think I can blame them. There's a fly ball that's going to go out to deep left field. Omir Abdallah makes that play for out number 2. That'll go down as an F7 if you're keeping score at home against number 6. The next batter is number 19, designated hitter Robert Shaw. So Robert Shaw comes up to the plate now with 2 outs and 1 on. That runner at second base, that's Omar Jackson. He was the leadoff batter. Got on being hit by a pitch down around the shin area. Shaw, a right-handed batter, DHing for the third baseman, Caleb Stanley. And the first pitch delivered, swung on, it's a deep fly ball into right center field. It looks, well, it's off the fence. That's going to be a stand-up RBI double for Robert Shaw.
Scoring on the play, number 3, Omar Jackson. The next batter is number 20, first baseman Adam Strawn.
And there are still fans yelling at the umpires to do their job, is what I'm hearing. Among other comments, none of them obscene, but just not everything needs to be repeated. So the Tigers take an early 1-0 lead. First pitch is going to be outside to Adam Strawn for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Bryce Cox. Swung on, it's a line drive that's going to go, oh my gosh, what a play by Omir Abdallah.
This abracadabra reach out and grab you moment brought to you by left fielder Omir Abdallah. In the top of the first inning, 1 run on 1 hit, 1 left on base, and the score, Mansfield 1, Lamar 0.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Going into the bottom of the first inning, the trail the Tigers 1-0. Having our first at bat here coming up. Cameron Wild, the second baseman, starting off. First pitch hits the strike zone for strike one. No balls and one strike. Ground ball hit sharply to the second baseman, who picks it up, bobbles it, and can't make the play, so that's going to go down, I think, officially as an error. Number 2, center fielder Kyle Foster. All right, I'm going to try to keep my composure, but some of the things the Mansfield fans are yelling at are actually funny. Still upset about that call for the out in the top half of the inning. First pitch to Kyle Foster, swung on and missed for strike one. So now each team has had their leadoff batter get safely to first base. Kyle Foster reaching on what I'm going to score as an error on the second baseman who bobbled that ground ball. That pitch is outside. Looks like a pitch out. The catcher popped up pretty quickly and looked Cameron Wild back to first base. One ball and one strike to count. Nobody out, one on for the Vikings. Bottom of the first inning. Throw over to first base. Not in time.
Thanks for noticing me.
Still one ball and one strike to Kyle Foster. That pitch is going to miss low for ball two. Is that a foul ball? Okay. Foul tip, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Foster. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. The runner going Cameron Wild, and he's going to make it safely to second base. And the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, one on. Now a runner in scoring position. If Kyle Foster can get a base hit here, good chance of him making it around third and into home. Full count, the payoff pitch. On its way. Outside and ball 4. Ahora bateando número 24, Jose Gutierrez. So Jose Gutierrez comes up to the plate. Nobody out and 2 on at first and second. Gutierrez has been hitting pretty decently so far this season. He's hit a couple of bombs. There's a ground foul ball over toward the visitors' dugout. And Ashton's come up with a hot pretzel and cheese sauce. I've got Shelby, Ashton, and Lindsay all up here helping me out tonight. Making me hungry with the smell of food I can't eat.
Oh, yeah.
Pitcher steps off the mound. Cameron Wild retreats back to second base. Cameron Wild, the runner for the Vikings, at second. Kyle Foster on at first. Both of them have pretty healthy leads. Here's a pitch outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Jose. Jose bats left-handed. He's the catcher for the Vikings most of the time. Sometimes plays first base. Highly sought after, been scouted by just about every major league team, I think all of them. It's a foul ball that goes back over toward the Viking dugout. Signed a letter of intent with Dallas Baptist University, but keeping his options open in case the pro draft would call his name early enough. Jose, one of the finest young men I've known ever since first grade or kindergarten at Butler Elementary here in Arlington. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the next pitch, and he fouls that one back to stay alive. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Still nobody out. 2 on for the Vikings, trailing 1-0, bottom of the first inning. This pitcher, Cameron Loy, also pretty deliberate for the Tigers. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside and high for ball 2. Evens up the count at 2-2. This on pace to be a kind of a long game, even if it's low scoring, because both pitchers pretty deliberate. Pitcher steps off the mound, looks the runner back at second, Cameron Wild. No one really holding him too tightly. The shortstop coming over a little bit, trying to keep him from getting too big of a lead. Kyle Foster's got about a 3-step lead out there to the curve of the grass. Bouncing ball, it's bobbled by the second baseman. He picks that up, and he's going to be in time to get Jose Gutierrez out, so that'll go down as a 4-3, but that does advance the runners and takes away the force. Number 9, shortstop, Sean Kelly. Sean Kelly comes up to the plate. 1 out and 2 on, runners at second and third. We've got Cameron Wild, the runner at third. Kyle Foster at second. Coach Kino coaching over at third base. Coach Evans coaching at first. Trying to see if something can happen here. First pitch is bounced foul off the hand of Coach Kino. And he'll start off with a no ball, 1 strike count. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 on. Here's the pitch. And that's going to go outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sean Kelly, a great hitter. A lot of base hits so far this year. I don't have all the individual stats, but if you've got 2 men on in scoring position, this is one of the guys you definitely want to batting the cleanup spot for the Vikings. Here's the pitch. Ooh, caught the lower outside corner of the strike zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're putting together a list of some of the people who are tuned in around the country and even internationally. We'll get to some of those shout-outs here in just a little bit. There's a foul ball that's going to go over the visitors' dugout. And the count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's what I call coaching time.
So everyone's back in their spot ready to go. Sean Kelly in the box, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, 2 on. Catcher setting up just a little bit outside, but then the pitcher steps off the mound again. No one holding either of the runners tight at all. So they're getting some pretty decent leads. A base hit here would be very helpful. A pitch outside for ball 2 evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you are listening to us, you want to shout out, you can text us at 817-719-6522, and we'll do our best to get some shout outs. 817-719-6522. You can text us and let us know you're listening, who and where. There's a fly ball out to right center field. It looks to be playable, and it is by the center fielder, Jarrett Russell, but that's going to score Cameron Weil. Scoring for the Vikings on the sacrifice fly, Cameron Weil. The next batter for the Vikings, number 15, first baseman, Braden Chambers. Speaking of Braden Chambers, we have some information. Some of his family are listening from various places around the country, including Richmond, Indiana, Eaton, Ohio, Scottsdale, Arizona, Santa Maria, California, and Centerville, Ohio. So hello to all of Braden Chambers' relatives watching and listening in. First pitch in there hits the strike zone, no balls and 1 strike. Vikings have tied up the game here in the bottom of the first. There's 2 outs and a runner on third. That pitch misses for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kyle Foster, the runner at third. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a fly ball out to right field. That is out of here. Two-run home run by Braden Chambers scores Kyle Foster and himself. The next batter for the Vikings, your pitcher, number 8, Bryce Cox. Well, one swing of the bat was all it took for Braden Chambers to bring in 2 runs, and now the score 3-0. 3-1. Thank you, Lindsay. That's why I've got people up here helping me. Actually, I did that on purpose just to see if my assistants were paying attention, and they were. They passed that first test. 3-1, the Vikings lead. A pitch in the dirt for ball 1, I believe. It's 1 ball and 1 strike, I believe. I might be mistaken. I was looking down. Umpires are usually pretty good at telling us. So it's 3-1 after that bomb over the right field fence. Somewhere, I'm going to say, in the 330 to 340 foot range. So Bryce Cox, the batter. Nobody on. We think 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the next pitch. Misses. Yep, 2 balls and 1 strike. The umpire will never know that we were confused. Or unsure, I should say. And that pitch misses for ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike to Bryce Cox. And there's ball 4. And it looks like we're going to have a call to the mound. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. First pitch to Preston Gomez, ball one. Gomez just being brought up for his first varsity game, doing so well at the JV level. Courtesy runner at first base, Charlie Frawley. Running for the pitcher, Bryce Cox. That pitch in the strike zone, 1 ball and 1 strike now. Frawley, a speed demon on the bases, does a good job of reading the pitchers. Has an interesting stance when he's taking that lead. His back is parallel to the ground, and I can say that because I know him very well. Second pitch in there for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Vikings lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the first inning. 2 outs, runner at first. Preston Gomez, the batter. Talked with him earlier, traded text messages with him earlier today, congratulating him on his move up to the show, to the varsity level. He said he is ready to go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he gets rung up on a pitch that looked to be a little bit toward the inside, but that'll be out number 3. But the Vikings take the lead 3-1. We'll be back. In the top of the second inning for the Tigers, the pitcher, number 12, Cameron Loy. So Cameron Loy makes his first plate appearance here in the top of the second inning. Vikings lead 3-1. 2 of those runs being scored on the 2-run homer by Braden Chambers over the right field fence. First pitch is ball 1 to Loy. So Bryce Cox doing a good job so far. He hit 1 batter, gave up a double, but only 1 run scored in the top of the first. That pitch misses for ball 2. That'll be a leadoff single for Cameron Loy. The next batter is the catcher, number 21, Cade Fletcher. See if y'all can see the number of the guy running at first, if you don't mind, just whenever he turns. Thanks. Is it? I think it's throwback over to first from Bryce Cox to Braden Chambers. Keeps that runner safe. Looks like it's number 5, Avery Chapman. See, now you're officially a spotter.
Yeah, but I looked this way. I looked on this side, this way, and I was like, hey, that's really little. Like,
Courtesy runner for the Tigers at first base, number 5, Avery Chapman. One ball and no strikes, the count. Next pitch misses for ball 2. Now, Coach Kino's going to go out and talk to Bryce for just a couple of moments.
Be sure and stop by the concession stand for burgers, hot dogs, and more. Have dinner at the ballpark, a great way to enjoy the game.
Coach Kino has retreated back to the dugout. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody out, runner at first base. And the pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. Big swing there, got him to chase something that was just trailing towards the outside edge. 2 balls and 1 strike. The catcher, number 21, Cade Fletcher, the batter. He bats 7th in the lineup. Bryce throws back over to first. The runner, Chapman, dives back in time. Looks like Chapman may have found his limit. There's a pitch, swung on. That's going to be a base hit. Down the third base line, Omir Abdallah goes over, picks it up. It's going to be a double. He'll get the ball back before anyone can score. And now a stand-up double after the single. And there's 2 on. Is that number 9? Yeah. Courtesy runner at second base, number 9, Garrett Merrifield. The next batter is number 10, left fielder Nick Ellington. So the pitcher reached, and then the catcher reached, and they each have courtesy runners. They're on at second and third. And now we've got the left fielder Nick Ellington up. 2 on and nobody out. Both of them in scoring position, so the Viking defense needs to come through here. That first pitch outside for ball 1. That pitch, Ellington, he might take a swing at it, but held back. But it's called a strike. And the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. And of course, the Tiger fans not happy with that call. And the next pitch swung on. Bouncing ball to the second baseman, Cameron Waugh picks it up, makes a throw. But that will score number 5, Avery Chapman. Scoring on the play, number 5, Avery Chapman. The next batter is number 8, center fielder Garrett Razor. So now there's 1 out and 1 on. First pitch to Razor, misses for ball 1. Score now Lamar 3, Mansfield 2. The number 9 batter up at bat. And that pitch misses for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I was just on my way home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you good?
Pitch goes over the Viking dugout into the parking lot. That pitch misses outside. It's 2-2. 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Want to welcome Al Coleman back into the broadcast booth. joining us here in the top of the second inning. Al, how are you doing tonight?
Great. Good to be here, Bill. Okay, now we're connected. Great. Good to be here, Bill.
Well, thanks for coming in to join us. The count goes full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Al, you missed a home run by Braden Chambers in the top of the bottom of the first.
All right, I see we got the lead.
Yep, 3-2. There's a high fly ball that's going to go down the third base line. Sean Kelly cannot get it. He turns around, misses it. The throw from Amir Abdallah to home misses. We're going to have to put that as a single since it didn't hit his glove. He got turned around, ball maybe lost a little bit in the light.
Tough play with the wind out there tonight. That wind is almost.
Scoring is number 9, Garrett Merrifield. The next batter is number 3, Omar Jackson.
Tough play with the wind, Bill.
Yeah, definitely so.
Yeah.
And they score now 3-3, all tied up. Foul ball comes back to the net just in front of the Viking stands. And no balls and 1 strike. Al, were you out playing golf today?
I was out over at the First Tee in Fort Worth. Have you ever heard of it, Bill?
No, I've not heard of the First Tee.
Yeah, it's an organization that introduces kids to golf.
Oh, you told me about that some time back. And there's a hit batsman, and that guy might start to take it personally. Bryce hit him to lead off the game.
So it's his second time being hit.
Yeah, and second time on base. The next batter is number 2, Jarrett Russell.
So we were out there trying to play some golf in the wind tonight. It was difficult there, difficult for baseball and difficult for golf.
Well, glad you had a good time and helping those youngsters out trying to pick up the game of golf. And glad you're here in the booth with us.
Yeah, we're hitting some good shots tonight.
Speaking of golf, Lindsay Antkoviak going to be competing in the district tournament tomorrow down at Southern Oaks in Burleson.
All right.
And there's a pitch in there to the strike zone. Start off no balls and 1 strike.
You been practicing up, Lindsay?
Yes.
Yes, good.
That pitch is going to miss outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Runner at second base, that's runner at 2 runners on, runner at second and first. Garrett Razor, the runner at second. Omar Jackson, the runner at first. Pitch just misses for ball 2. Count 2 balls and 1 strike.
Looks like we got a good crowd out here tonight, Bill.
Definitely so. I want to say hello to Braden's family in Indiana and Ohio. They're saying go Bradens and go Vikings. Thanks for being tuned in. That pitch is going to miss outside for ball 3. My brother-in-law Mel Skaggs listening out in San Angelo. Hello, Mel, and everyone out there.
Is Mel working out there, Bill?
He's visiting family, taking care of some parent stuff, and foul tip, and the count goes full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. We'll keep sending out these shout-outs as we get information in. So maybe looking for a double play ball if we can, but something to get out of this inning. And there's ball 4. That's going to load the bases, actually. The next batter, number 6, Grayson Pedro. So Grayson Pedro comes up to the plate. He flew out to left field back in the first inning. I think that was an outstanding catch by Amir Abdallah. And the first pitch there, strike 1, no balls and 1 strike. So now with the bases loaded, really need some type of a double play or a ground ball that gets the force at home, but something to keep anyone else from scoring with the tie evened up at 3-3. There's a foul ball back over the Viking dugout into the parking lot area. And the count now, no balls and 2 strikes. A strikeout would be a great way to get this next out.
Strikeout would be a great way to go. The left hand hitting Tatro looks like he can drive the ball just by his physical appearance.
Ground ball straight up the middle. It's going to be a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes another run. And now it's 5-3. Scoring are number 8, Garrett Razor, and number 3, Omar Jackson.
That ball was basically seeing eye right through the middle, almost went through second base, past second base.
The next batter, number 19, Robert Shaw. Well, so just like that, 2 runs are in. The Tigers take the lead 5-3. Now runners at first and second, and still only 1 out.
Hopefully Cox can limit the damage here, get a double play ball, or as you mentioned, get a strikeout. It's a matter of just stopping the bleeding at this point in this inning.
There's another first pitch strike. So Bryce, as we've talked about on previous broadcasts, Al, so important for the pitcher to get out with that first pitch strike. Bryce has had several, but unfortunately, between some hit batsmen, some base hits, not able to strike anyone out yet. Well, that pitch misses. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah.
That pitch catches the inside edge for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Bill, looks like the wind is blowing out to right. Any ball hit that way is going to carry.
Yeah, and the wind's been moving around a little bit, and that's where there's a ground ball hit between first and second. Cameron Weil can't get his glove on it. Then the right fielder bobbles it. And that's going to score number 2, Jarrett Russell. Scoring is number 2, Jarrett Russell.
Just outside of Weil's reach and then went into right field.
And that's going to bring the Vikings all to the mound. Talk it up with Bryce, get him settled down just a little bit here. The next batter, number 20, Adam Strong. So runners on the corner with only 1 out still. Ball in the dirt, but Gutierrez does a good job of stopping that from going anywhere. 1 ball and no strikes to start off with this batter, Adam Strong. The number 5 batter, bats right-handed. And his previous at bat, I believe, he flew out to left to end the first inning. An attempt at So they got the runner going from first to second. The batter safe at first, and then the runner scores from third. Just a little bit of a late throw there.
Good play by the third baseman. Almost went around the horn with the double play when they didn't get him the runner.
Scoring is number 6, Grayson Pedro.
Runner scored. 6-run inning now for Mansfield, so see if Cox can just get out of this inning at this point.
Batter's number 12, Cameron Loy. First pitch, he fouls off. No balls and 1 strike again. Bryce getting out in front of this batter, but like you said, Al, this is a 6-run inning so far for the Tigers. It's a bouncing ball to the second baseman, Cameron Weil, picks up, throws over to first base to end the inning. We'll be back after this break. Leading off in the bottom of the second inning for the Vikings, number 7, Brendan Schaefer.
First pitch of ball low to Schaefer.
First pitch to Schaefer was low for ball 1, but he gets a hold of that one. Leadoff single. Leadoff single for Schaefer. Now batting number 5, Omir Abdallah.
Good start for the Vikings. Well hit ball to the left by Schaefer. Let's see if they can get some base runners here. Chip away at the 4-run deficit.
High pop fly just out of the reach of the catcher. Came all the way to the fence, and then that ball swirled backwards just a little bit as he was facing the stands and went back over it. Again, out with that wind and just kind of getting turned around. It's tough to make some of those.
Seems like every game we've had, Bill's had strong wind one direction or another. We've had them all different ways, but every time the wind has been strong.
So the count, no balls and 1 strike to Abdallah, no outs, runner on first. That pitch misses for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, this place is definitely interesting as far as the wind situation goes on a regular basis. That pitch low for ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. Got a Viking fan, Donna, listening in the Crowley area. Among our other listeners, viewers.
Thanks for listening in, Donna.
High fly ball's going to go into foul territory and is caught by the third baseman, Caleb Stanley, for out number 1.
That ball was a bit of an adventure as well.
Number 11, Cameron Wild. So Cameron Wild comes up to the plate for his second time. Leadoff batter for the Vikings. Reached on an error by the second baseman back in the first inning. At least that's how I scored it. I think that's probably close enough to correct. He looks to bunt, and it goes foul off the third base line.
Well, with good speed and left-hand batting, that's not the first time he's looked to bunt to get on base, and he's been successful in past games.
Yeah, that 3-run inning, what was that, last week or the week before? When they had a nice
started,
yeah.
Really got it going there with that bunt single, and then they scored 3 runs that inning.
No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch, high for ball 1. 1 out, 1 on here in the bottom of the second inning. The Vikings trail 7-3 after that 6-run second inning by the Tigers. Got some action over in the bullpen. Looks like William Bell warming up over there, just doing some easy toss. Ground ball to the first baseman. He'll pick it up and steps on first just in time, so that'll go down as a G3 to get number 11.
Advances the runner to second. Now running in scoring position with 2 down.
The next batter for the Vikings, number 2, Kyle Foster. So now 2 outs with, like you said, Al, the runner in at second base in scoring position. It's Brendan Schaefer.
See if Foster can get a hit and get him home here.
First pitch to Foster, in there for strike 1.
Good curveball.
What's interesting to see when these pitchers can start effectively throwing a curveball, you know, a lot of people say don't let them start doing that till they're about 14, 15 years old. There's a fly ball into shallow right field, but that's playable and caught by the right fielder Grayson Pedro, and that will end the inning Vikings come up empty. They still trail 7-3. We'll be back. Leading off for the Tigers in the top of the third inning, number 21, Cade Fletcher. Cade Fletcher will come up to the bat, or to the plate for his second appearance. Reached with a stand-up double back in the second inning that scored a run, RBI. First pitch to him barely misses for strike one. Excuse me, ball one. If it barely misses, it's a ball, not a strike.
Our scorer over there was looking confused, Bill. Lindsay.
Yeah. It's another test, and I didn't get any response. Inside for ball two. Pretty close to brushing the batter. 2 balls and no strikes. Top of the third inning, nobody out, nobody on. High fly ball. Cameron Wild's going to make the play on it, moving around, tracking it down.
Whoa.
Makes the grab.
Had to dive for it at the last minute with the wind out there.
So the first batter is out on the F4.
Well, I can tell you, I would not want to be out there trying to shag down a fly ball tonight.
Number 10, Nick Ellington. Boy, I'm with you.
I don't know about you.
Especially when they go about 120 feet in the air like that, gets into that zone where the wind's swirling around a little bit. We've seen the flag change position, or change direction quite a bit tonight. First pitch. Wow, just misses for ball one. Nick Ellington, he's the left fielder, bats right-handed, the number 8 batter in the order. He got a single back in the second inning and ended up scoring one of those 6 runs. A pitch in the dirt, bounces off of Jose's glove. No one on base, so no harm, no foul. The count now 2 balls and no strikes.
There aren't very many balls that get by Gutierrez back there.
No, and I'll tell you, if he had had some runners on base, he would have been a little bit more mobile, but probably conserving some of that mobility and energy when it's not necessary. That pitch catches the strike zone. Now the count 2 balls and 1 strike.
When the runners are on, you don't see a lot of base stealing with him back there either.
Correct. And the 2-1 pitch comes, and that's down in the dirt, and the count goes to 3-1. Again, Bryce, a deliberate pitcher, takes plenty of time. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Ground ball hit to Sean Kelly, scoops it up, makes the throw in time to Braden Chambers for out number 2. Wow, this is the kind of inning we definitely needed and wanted to see after that second. 2 up, 2 down so far.
Good bounce back inning for Cox so far. Hopefully we can get the next batter here and get a 1-2-3 inning.
The next batter is number 8, Garrett Razor. Well, now this is the number 9 batter in the order. And Razor got a single back in the second inning. He ended up scoring. And I was incorrect about the previous. But there's a fly ball out to center field. Looks to be playable by Kyle Foster, and he makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. Score still 7-3. We'll be back. Leading off in the bottom of the third inning for the Vikings, number 24, Jose Gutierrez. So Jose Gutierrez going to lead off for us here in the bottom of the third inning. Looks at the first pitch for a strike.
Left-hand batting Gutierrez, if he can pull one, that window, shoot it out.
That pitch will miss for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. He grounded out to the second baseman back in the first inning, and it was pulled quite a bit over. The second baseman playing about where he is now, halfway over, almost like a when you play the shift a little bit.
Yeah.
We're just missing having someone from the left side of the infield come in and fill in the gap. So they've been studying him. They remember what he did in the first inning. That pitch misses ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a foul ball that's going to go back over the dugout. Shattering glass reminds us to remind you, RJ Construction leads the industry in window replacement. And they ring him up on strike 3.
That pitch, that pitch was a curve, and it caught the outside corner, started off the plate, then came in a really good pitch.
Number 9, Sean Kelly. Sean Kelly comes up to bat. He flew out to the center fielder on a sacrifice fly back in the first inning. Scored, got one of the RBIs. First pitch in there for strike 1. Fouls that one just off the first base line, and now quickly it's no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch comes in outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Pitcher for the Tigers, Cameron Loy, working quickly.
There's the 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Sean Kelly looked like he was tempted a little bit, but pulled back in plenty of time. The count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think Kelly would get a good look at a pitch here at 2-2.
That pitch low and inside for ball 3. Now the count goes full.
Now definitely get a good look.
Definitely so, because the pitcher can't afford necessarily to give one up. I mean, they've got the lead, and if he ends up on base, so be it. But ground ball, the bouncing ball that goes past the third baseman. Kelly rounds first. He's going to be over towards second.
Stand-up double for
Sean Kelly. The next batter, number 15, Grayson Chambers.
Kelly pulling that ball down the third base line, just out of the reach of the third baseman for the Tigers.
Beautifully placed hit.
Beautifully placed.
So he's in scoring position with only one out. Chambers calls time at the plate, steps out, takes a little swing, collects himself back, and now he's back in the box. Braden Chambers, the two-run homer, back in the first inning. Here's his first pitch outside for ball one. Sean Kelly, go ahead, Al.
Pitcher probably knows that and is working him outside.
See if he can get him to pull something towards the left. He's got his eyes over on right field again. Sean Kelly taking a pretty good lead over there. No one holding him tight. Shortstop coming behind him just a little bit. That pitch caught the inside corner of the inside edge for strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Right fielder for Mansfield playing way back. I think he's on I-30, don't you think, Bill?
I think so. Unfortunately, traffic is light out there right now.
He won't get hit out there.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Chambers thought he had a good one to swing at. It went just a little bit toward the outside edge, and he missed it. But it's another swing like that, and if he gets a hold of one, he'll at least get a base hit, I would think.
Really good cut by Chambers on that last pitch.
Here's the pitch. Fouled away.
Yeah, right fielder taking a few steps back, and honestly is just a few paces off the wall out there.
1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 on. Bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. Oh, curveball rings him up.
Same pitch that got Gutierrez. A curveball started outside and came back, catching the outside edge of the plate.
Number 8, Bryce Cox. So now 2 outs and 1 on for the Vikings. Bryce Cox, the pitcher, coming up to the plate. He walked back in the first inning.
See if the Vikings get a hit here, take advantage of that runner in scoring position again.
That pitch misses for ball 1. He made it to first base on a walk. Then Charlie Frawley came in to be the courtesy runner for the pitcher. He got stranded. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 outs, 1 on. Here's the pitch. Foul ball that goes out over to the soccer field. Evens up the count at 1-1. And now we sure would like to see Sean Kelly score somehow. We'd hate to have him lead off with that double and then get stranded.
We had a runner in scoring position left on base the last inning, so hate to see it happen again this inning. And the game is still manageable, Bill. It's only 7-3, so
and we're early.
Yeah, it's still bottom of the third, so plenty of time.
Even just getting 1 or 2 per inning here, just some small ball, whatever it takes. Don't have to get it all at once.
The chip away theory.
There you go. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Right in there for strike 2. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bryce has had some pretty good hitting off and on through the season. Wow, rung him up on that same side of the plate.
Same pitch.
So 3 called strikeouts in the third inning. Score remains 7-3. We'll be back. Leading off in the top of the fourth inning for the Tigers, number 3, Omar Jackson. Well, we're going into the top of the fourth, getting close to halfway through the game. The Tigers lead 7-3. The highlight so far defensively for the Vikings, top of the third, 3 up, 3 down. Jackson, the leadoff hitter, bats left-handed, as you can see. He's the shortstop.
He's gotten hit twice, right?
He has. And he looks at the first pitch outside for ball 1.
Yeah, if you get hit 3 times, you may really start taking it personally at that point, right?
Yeah, definitely so.
Yeah.
He is wearing number 3, so maybe that would make some sense. Pull the hat trick of some sort.
Yeah.
He steps out, and everyone's back ready. That wind's swirling again. The flag has been waving pretty proudly there. There's a fly ball that's going to go into center field, just almost completely straight away. Oh, no, it went to left center. It looked like Kyle Foster thought he might have a read on it.
He couldn't see it.
He couldn't see it, and Omir Abdallah wasn't ready for it because he thought Kyle had it, and he lost it. That'll be a leadoff single.
Kyle reacted to the ball and then just put the hands out, kind of the what's up. He obviously lost it in the lights and couldn't see it, and as you mentioned, Bill, Abdallah, by that time it was too late to react to the ball.
Number 2, Jarrett Russell. Well, so now the leadoff batter is on here in the top of the fourth.
And that's a stand-up double.
First pitch fouled away down the first base line. Jackson had a pretty good lead, and he was taken off on contact and sprinted all the way to third base. Has to jog back to second. No balls and 1 strike here to Jarrett Russell, the left-hander. Fouls that one away. Jackson not going as far toward third base on that one. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
See if Cox can put him away here.
Gutierrez sets up outside, and he rings him up.
Great pitch, painted the corner. Cox put it right on Gutierrez's glove.
The next batter, number 6, Grayson Pedro. Pedro reached, I think, with a hit. My notes are a little bit unclear from part of the second inning. He did score in the second, part of that 6-run inning. Now 1 out and 1 on for the Tigers. That pitch misses for ball 1.
Well, that last pitch by Cox, perfectly painted where Gutierrez had his glove.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I want to thank Jay Ryan, our producer and technology expert that makes all these broadcasts happen. He's back at production headquarters, fine-tuning some things. That pitch misses for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Jay does an outstanding job, gives so much of his time to football, basketball, now baseball. Also helps with various classes, helping with internet websites. Does a lot of stuff for Lamar High School and the community. Want to give Jay a big shout out and thank you for everything he does.
Plus, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's at production headquarters, which is in a bunker somewhere in Arlington, Texas, right?
An undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 1. He was swinging for everything there.
Yep.
And the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, he was looking to take that one to I-30.
Gutierrez goes out and talks to Bryce Cox just to maybe double check on signals and stuff. Game moving at a moderate pace. We're in the top of the fourth. It's been going just for about an hour and 12 minutes. That pitch will miss, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. Getting 1 out, runner at second base. That's Omar Jackson. Led off with that double that just got lost by Kyle Foster in the wind and lights and so on. And here comes the 3-1 pitch, and that's on the outside edge. Another pretty
good pitch there.
Yeah. And the count goes full at 3-2.
We got both pitchers painting that inside corner to a right-handed batter. Both of them have done that very well last 2 innings.
Here's the payoff pitch. That's outside front.
Just
that
missed.
one didn't come in. And that'll be a walk.
Cox looking to replicate what the Tigers pitcher did the last inning. Same looking pitch.
Number 19, Robert Shaw.
Curveball that almost was strike 3. Instead, it's ball 4.
The designated hitter, Robert Shaw, comes up. He had a double back in the first inning, got stranded. Then he got on base in the second inning and got stranded. Let's see if we can just keep him off the base here in the top of the 4th. And the pitch fouled away, so starts off with a first pitch strike for Bryce Cox. No balls and 1 strike. That ball goes ground ball foul over toward the Viking bullpen.
Bill, you traveling anywhere this week?
Well, I was down in Belton yesterday and today, and I'm heading off to Texarkana sometime tomorrow, maybe tomorrow night. I'm going to get a chance to see my younger son David play in a freshman game. There's strike 2, no balls and 2 strikes. It was supposed to be played tonight over Mansfield, but they got enough rain that soaked their field, and they had to move tonight's game to tomorrow. So heading to Texarkana tomorrow night after that, and home again on Thursday night. In time to see Charlie run track.
Well, there were some pop-up showers around the Metroplex. I guess Mansfield must have got some today.
They got a steady downpour for about 30 minutes. That pitch goes foul out of play. Count stays 0-2. Yeah, I was talking to the varsity coach down here, and he said, yeah, they just got that downpour for 30 minutes and soaked their field. So hopefully everything works out. They'll play tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, that freshman game. (0-2) pitch. High fly ball. Braden Chambers calling for it. Inside the grass. Makes that catch, and that's
2 down
number
now.
2. It'll go down as an F3. Nice play by Braden Chambers.
With some ominous looking weather here in North Arlington here about mid-afternoon.
Number 20, Adam Strong.
But it didn't rain.
Yeah, Lindsay said they got a little bit of rain over at Rolling Hills when she was practicing golf. They had some thunder, but first pitch launched out to left center. Amir dives for it. It's going to land for a base hit. And now there will be runners at the corners with 2 outs.
That ball was Texas Leaguer just beyond the reach of the shortstop and in between both the center and left fielder Abdallah. No chance really for any of the Lamar players there to make that catch.
The earlier score on the inning by number 3, Omar Jackson. The batter is number 12, Cameron Loy.
So Al, here's the pitcher back up for the Tigers. He's the number 6 batter in the order. He had a single back in the first inning, and his courtesy runner scored for him. Gutierrez sets up outside. Pitch is going to miss. One ball and no strikes. Runners on the corner, 2 outs. Pitch lines itself beautifully inside of the strike zone, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Pretty pitch there.
So now Bryce Cox ahead of this batter. Let's see where he puts this pitch. Gutierrez got the signal from the dugout. He sets up a little bit towards outside. That curve ball ends up being a ground ball to the first baseman. Braden Chambers picks it up, steps on the bag, and that retires the side. 1 run scores, 2 left on base. Safe to 3 Mansfield. We'll be back. Leading off for the Vikings in the bottom of the fourth inning, number 20, designated hitter Preston Gomez. Well, Al, you're likely to remember Preston Gomez from announcing the JV game last week that you covered for me. He got called up to the varsity level this
I was going to say, it looks like he got called up.
Yep.
And
there's a single. Now he's 1-1 so far tonight as a varsity player. Leadoff single for Preston Gomez. The next batter, number 7, Brendan Schaefer.
Gomez likely called up because of the power that he's shown so far, Bill.
Yeah, he's hit a couple out of the yard so far this season.
Yeah.
Great to see him get that leadoff single here in the fourth. Now Brendan Schaefer steps up to the plate. He had a single back in the second inning and was stranded. First pitch to him in there for strike one. So no balls and one strike. Nobody out, one on. That's Preston Gomez at first. The Vikings trail 8-3. Still a manageable game, but they're going to have to start getting some people across the plate. High fly ball. It's going to be playable by the pitcher, it looks like. And he does make that. That'll go down as an F1 against number 7.
It'd be nice to see the Vikings get some base runners.
Number 5, Omir Abdallah. Abdallah, another player that started off the season at the JV level, got moved up a while back. And done pretty well out there in left field, hitting. He swings at his first pitch, no balls and one strike.
It's been reflective of the success that the JV team has had, Bill.
He flew out, yes indeed, he flew out to the third baseman in foul territory back in the second inning. So this is his second appearance in the game at the plate. Looks at that pitch in the dirt for ball one ball and one strike.
I had a thought that Gomez might get called up because of the success he's had.
Yeah. Well, if you can get him and Gutierrez hitting strong on the same night, look out.
Yeah.
Next pitch, swung on. There's a hit the ball out to left field. It's caught by the left fielder, Nick Ellington, for out number 2.
Well hit ball. Just didn't drop.
Number 11, Cameron Weil. Well, and now that we know Braden Chambers knows how to hit one over the fence, we've got 3 different power hitters. Sean Kelly, also a great hitter. So if we can get all these guys hitting the ball and getting on base and scoring on the same night, we can have some really good offensive outputs.
Yeah, you got power throughout the lineup.
You know, it's funny, talking about this kind of stuff. And, a lot of people watch pro games, college games. You expect a lot. There's a ground ball, bounces over to the second baseman, picks it up and throws over to first base in time. And that's going to retire the side. Still 8-3. We'll be back for the 5th inning. Welcome back to the broadcast. Leading off, number 21, Cade Fletcher. Well, coming into the top of the fifth inning, want to say hi to Calvin Scheib, who just stepped up to say hello to us, former Viking player. First pitch in the dirt for ball one. Al, I was talking about right before we broke for the break after the fourth inning. I was talking to Coach Kino before the game. Say, hey, how you doing? He goes, doing pretty good. He goes, it's interesting making a living in a job where you depend on the reactions of 15 through 18-year-olds. And I thought, that is an interesting way to look at that. And there's a fly ball caught by Braden Chambers for out number one. Goes down as an F3 against number 21. The next batter is number 10, Nick Ellington. I said, that's a lot like gambling, isn't it? He goes, yeah, I guess so.
Well, if you're a manager at any level, I'm sure there's elation and frustration all the time.
Definitely so.
Yeah.
Sometimes all in one night.
Yeah.
That pitch catches the outside edge for strike one. One no balls and one strike. Well, speaking of gambling, not that you did, but did you have any success with your bracket in the March Madness?
Actually, I didn't fill one out since I don't work anymore. I don't do that kind of thing. That was usually an office pool kind of thing. And
there's a swing and miss for strike two. Yeah, that's I get in on.
How about you? Yeah.
Well, I had Villanova for one of my three brackets, but I busted up enough of it with the upsets that I didn't finish
enough to
the top. Yeah.
To get into the money, make any money.
Exactly. I donated again. Now, last year I won the bracket that I was in.
Oh.
There's a fly ball to Braden Chambers for out number two.
2 up, 2 down here very quickly. What do you think of that 6th man for Villanova last night?
Number 8, Garrett Razor. Man, Villanova put it to Michigan, didn't they?
Well, Dante, and I can't remember his last name, he really changed the whole complexion of the game.
Could you say Dante's on fire?
Can't remember his last name.
Yeah. First pitch misses for ball one. Yeah, that Michigan team's been interesting to watch. They had that buzzer beater by the freshman from, 35, 40 feet out that won against Houston. And they played a close one, then they just got wiped out by Villanova. That pitch looking to catch that outside corner on the left-handed batter, but that misses. Ball two.
Well, Michigan started out well, but they couldn't hang with them.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
So 2 out of the last 3 championships by Villanova. 2-0 pitch coming. Ground ball hit to Cameron Weil at second base. Picks it up, throws over. So Braden Chambers involved in all 3 outs in the 3 up, 3 down inning. Score remains 8-3. We'll be back. Leading off in the bottom of the 5th inning, number 2, Kyle Foster. Kyle Foster is going to lead off for the Vikings here in the bottom of the 5th. Swings at the first one, kind of an excuse me swing. pops up, and it's fouled back.
I don't know if that hit him on the wrist.
They got the bat.
Yeah. He's not talking to the umpire, so.
Ahora bateando número 24, Jose Gutierrez.
Al, I gotta say, Jose comes up with some of the best walk-up songs. He has, he runs through more songs than any player in the history of the program. He's kept pretty steady though this season with 2.
I was gonna say that's the one I've heard.
Yeah.
Most of the season is this past one, which is great.
Last year, the one he had that was my favorite of his was "Hey Baby, Que Paso" by the Texas Tornadoes. Pretty quickly, 2 pitches come in, ball 1 and ball 2.
Great song, great choice.
Oh yeah,
I like that song.
It's a fun, active song. Makes us want to dance up here. High fly ball is going to go out to center field. The center fielder making a play on it, and Garrett Razor makes the catch for out number 1.
Number 2.
Out number 2.
Number 9, Sean Kelly.
Yeah, thanks for correcting me, Al. That was another one of these tests I do every so often, so he was paying attention. It is out number 2 after.
That was actually our scorekeeper, Lindsay Ann Kobiak.
Oh, okay.
I think she said touche back to you when she.
Oh, I'll give credit where credit's due then. Yeah, I forgot about for a moment the pop fly that Kyle Foster hit on the swing that was caught by the catcher.
Yeah.
I wanted to forget about it. I think he does too.
We have an on-the-spot scorekeeper though, so she doesn't miss stuff like that.
And she has a crew with her.
That's right.
First pitch missed for ball 1. He fouls that one off for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sean Kelly. Had a double to lead off last inning, but got stranded. Or in the 3rd inning, but got stranded. There's a looper out into center field, and that'll be a good single. So Sean Kelly's doing his part, hitting the ball.
Number 15, Braden Chambers.
Bill, the Vikings have been getting some hits, just haven't been able to put them together. See if they can get a little 2-out rally here.
That'd be nice to see.
Running out of outs in the game.
Braden Chambers swings at his first pitch, fouls it off for strike 1, no balls and 1 strike. And Braden has family all over the United States listening to us, out in Richmond, Indiana, Eaton, Ohio, Scottsdale, Arizona, Santa Maria, California, Centerville, Ohio. That pitch is outside for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Got a lot of family.
He does.
I hope they heard that home run.
I'm guessing at least most, if not all of them did. That pitch will miss for ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a ball launched out to deep center field.
It's over his head.
the head. That's going to be a ground rule double. Ground rule double by Braden Chambers.
Bit unfortunate there on that ball hopping the fence. I think the runner would have scored, and Chambers might have been able to get a triple, Bill.
Number 8, Bryce Cox.
Well, definitely so. If that ball had just not, like you say, gone over the fence and hit it, he probably was standing on third, and Sean Kelly would have scored.
Yeah, I think Kelly would have scored with his speed for sure.
Now, if Bryce Cox can get back into his swing of things and get a base hit here, I would like to see him maybe pull one over towards left center where he kind of tends to hit. He can just put one over the head of the shortstop, get a couple of these runs back. There's a ground ball to the shortstop, picks it up, throws over to first just in time, and that's out number 3. Well, nothing doing after the single and double. It's still 8-3. We'll be back. Leading off for the Tigers in the top of the 6th, number 3, Omar Jackson. Well, we want to give a shout out to Mayor Dave Snow from Richmond, Indiana, who's one of the Braden Chambers family members. Got to be enjoying tonight with the 2-run home run and then the double just now, and a lot of great defensive plays by Braden at first base. So there's a first pitch swing, hits to Cameron Weil at first, thrown to Braden Chambers, speaking of him, for out number 1 on pitch number 1 from William Bell.
I didn't know we had high-powered politicians listening in, Bill.
How about that?
Yeah. Maybe he can, get a few...
number 2, Jarrett Russell.
Maybe he can get a few potholes fixed in Richmond there.
Well, Mayor Snow, we're glad to know you're listening, as well as all the other folks that are out and around.
Yeah, thanks for listening in, Mayor.
There's a first pitch strike. No balls and 1 strike to Jarrett Russell. 1 out, nobody on. Boy, there's an inside pitch that he swung on, scooped up by Sean Kelly, throws over, not in time, and threw it away toward the dugout. And I'm going to say that's probably a single because he had that beat even if the throw was on target.
Yeah, Kelly made a really good play. There's no way he was going to get him on that. Slow roller to first, or to short.
Yeah, kind of that excuse me swing, and it just sort of veered off, and Kelly had to make a run toward third and stretch out just to pick it up and keep it in the infield. Number 6, Grayson Pedro.
Bill Bell, pitching for the Vikings, has been effective in relief in past games. Big right-hander.
Definitely so. First pitch here in the dirt off the glove of Gutierrez. That pass ball will move the runner to second base. And so now, with 1 out, there's 1 on at second in scoring position for the number 3 hitter in the order, number 6, Grayson Pedro, the right fielder. Pitch caught the inside corner for strike 1.
Evens the count of 1-1.
the pitch. Swung on ground ball. That's going to be a base hit into right field, a ground ball. The runner's coming around third.
He's
And
out.
actually, he'll be stopped at third. So that's a single, and then the batter advances to second on the throw-in.
Throw missed the cutoff there, got through to Gutierrez. The runner at third couldn't advance, but the runner from first moves up to second into scoring position.
Number 19, Robert Shaw. So Robert Shaw comes up to the plate. His most recent appearance was back in the fourth. He flew out to the first baseman, Braden Chambers. That pitch catches the inside corner. There's that paint in the corner pitch there that Bryce Cox had gotten pretty good at, and the pitcher Loy for the Tigers has been pretty good at. Now William Bell taking his turn at it. No balls and one strike. 1 out, 2 on at second and third for the Tigers. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
William Bell's mother, a regular attendee and worker down at the concession stand. I
And president of the Booster Club.
appreciate her very much.
Oh my gosh, she and Micah give so much time to this program and have since their older son, Brendan, was a part of it. There's a fly ball out to center field. Kyle Foster's running back. That's over his head. That rolls to the fence. That's going to score 2. He's going to make a run towards third. There's the throw.
Got
And
him.
they got him. Well, a good throw in by Kyle Foster after that double got over him. 2-run score. Scoring are number 2, Jarrett Russell, and number 6, Grayson Pedro. The next batter is number 20, Adam Strawn.
Well hit ball there. Foster had no chance on that. Rolled all the way to the wall. But a good relay. Good throw and relay to get the runner at third.
So now the score 10-3, and it's getting a little bit uncomfortable in terms of big chance for a comeback. It'll take a big comeback. First pitch in there for strike 1. Swing and a miss there for strike 2. William Bell now ahead of this batter, 0-2.
Well, first things first, Bell hopefully can get this batter.
Yep.
And then the Vikings are just going to need a lot of base runners.
0-2 pitch just misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That pitch misses for ball 2. Now the count even up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Number 20 at the plate. Lots of 2s up on the board across the top. That pitch misses outside. It got away from William when he released. Got away from Jose, but no one on base, so no harm, no foul there. The count goes full at 3-2. And the payoff pitch swung on a bouncing ball to Sean Kelly at short, picks it up, makes a throw to Braden Chambers at first for out number 3, but not before 2-run score. It's 10-3 in the middle of the 6th. We'll be back. Leading off for the Vikings, number 20, Preston Gomez. Well, Al, what a good walk-up song for Preston Gomez, Believer by the Imagine Dragons, and I'm a believer.
I'm a believer in Preston Gomez.
He's 1 for 2 at the plate tonight. His first varsity game. You know, there's some butterflies that come with playing in your first varsity game.
Sure.
There's some pressure, but he's handled it well. His third plate appearance tonight. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Preston Gomez.
You'll need to mention that last out in the prior inning. Great play by Sean Kelly. Slow rolling ball that he gloved and fired to first.
That's a good point, Al. He made that play, and not every shortstop's going to be able to do that so well. 3 balls and no strikes to Preston Gomez with nobody out, nobody on. And a 4-pitch walk.
There we go.
Number 7, Brendan Schaefer.
That's what we need, Bill. That opening walk is just what the doctor ordered here. We're going to need a lot of base runners these last 2 innings.
So however we can get them on, a walk's as good as a hit. That first pitch in there on the outside edge for strike 1 to Brendan Schaefer. Schaefer's last plate appearance, he popped up to the pitcher back in the 4th inning. So he's due for a hit. Swings, that's going to go high, foul ball back over behind the visitor stands. And it's now no balls and 2 strikes. I think we've got our Canadian fan listening tonight. Looks like Lisa from Winnipeg. There's a fly ball over towards the third baseman. Man, the wind caught that. He went into foul territory, then had to come back in fair territory to make that catch. Good play there by the third baseman, Caleb Stanley.
Another shout out to Lisa in Winnipeg.
Number 5, Omir Abdallah.
Bill, speaking of Winnipeg, I think the temperature's dropped probably about 10 degrees since the start of this game, man.
I think it has. Another front's coming through. There's a foul ball that goes straight over the broadcast booth here.
We've had every other day fronts here in Arlington. Cold one day, warm the next.
No balls and 1 strike. To Omir Abdallah. Yeah, the weather's just been that crazy spring, April stuff here. Omir thought about taking a cut at that one, but it dropped down into the dirt. He held back, and now it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, I hope Lisa has some good weather in Winnipeg today.
Also a big Winnipeg Jets fan up there. Hockey.
And the playoffs are about to start.
1-1 pitch. Wow, caught the lower corner of the strike zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Unfortunately, our NHL team won't be in the playoffs again this year.
Neither will our basketball team.
Neither will our basketball team. It's not a good time for Dallas sports.
But the Rangers are going to make a big play at it for the playoffs. That pitch inside just missed the strike zone. Omir kind of turned back, so now it's 2-2.
2-2 the count.
1 out, 1 on. Runner at first base for the Vikings. He chipped it, but it was caught, and that's going to be strike 3. Number 11, Cameron Weil.
Might be a good time for a while to try that bunt again here.
He's got some speed. He could get on base if he puts it in the right spot. That one inside makes him turn away from the pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Mansfield Tigers lead 10-3. That pitch in the strike zone, 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs and 1 on. Man, that big 6-run second inning is what blew this thing open.
Yeah, it's a difficult inning for the Vikings.
There's a ground ball hit to the shortstop, picks it up and just lobs it over to the second baseman for out number 3. That'll go down as a 6-4. No runs scored, 1 left on. We'll be back. Leading off in the top of the 7th inning, number 12, Cameron Lloyd. Well, baseball fans, here we come into the top of the final inning, the 7th inning. Cameron Lloyd, the pitcher for the Tigers, up to bat. Swings at the first pitch, ground ball to second baseman Cameron Wild, throws him plenty of time. Nice stretch by Brayden Chambers at first to make sure and haul that one in. 1 pitch, 1 out.
First, I thought he might have pulled him off first, but he got the punch out.
I'll tell you this, if there was an MVP tonight, I think it's Brayden Chambers, offensively and defensively.
For the Vikings.
Number 21, Cade Fletcher. Is there another team? Yeah. Braden's having an outstanding game tonight.
Yeah, it's too bad on that second hit. He didn't get an RBI out of that.
There's a second pitch, and that's going to drop for a base hit in right center.
Did he hit it? Was it a 2-run or a 3-run homer, Bill? Since I wasn't here.
That was a 2-run homer.
Mm-hmm.
Courtesy runner at first base, number 9, Garrett Merrifield. The next batter, number 10, Nick Ellington. Nick Ellington flew out to the first baseman, Brayden Chambers, speaking of him, back in the 5th inning, his most recent. First pitch strike, no balls and 1 strike. 1 out and 1 on. Tigers lead 10-2-3. We're in the top of the 7th. 7 innings is a complete game, or a full game, in Texas high school baseball. That pitch well inside, brushes him back, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Game approaching 2 hours in duration pretty soon. Bell looks over at first, steps off the mound. Merrifield, the runner, gets back. Taking about a 2-step lead. Brayden Chambers holding him on at first. Here's the pitch. Bouncing ball to Brayden Chambers, steps on first. And completes the double play.
Great play.
Down as a G3 and a 3-6 double play to end the 7th inning. We'll be back.
leading off in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Vikings, number 2, Kyle Foster. So Kyle Foster's going to lead off for the Vikings here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They need 7 runs to at least tie this thing up.
New pitcher on for the Tigers, Bill.
Yeah, it's going to be number 4, Blake Brown. He's a senior. First pitch missed for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike to Kyle Foster. He's our second batter in the order tonight, center fielder. And he gets a hold of that one. That's going to go into left field. He's going around first. He's going to hold up. I think very wisely so. He was looking at second. Leadoff single for Kyle Foster. The next batter, number 24, Jose Gutierrez.
Foster looked at second there, but no sense with being down 7 runs in the 7th.
Yeah, wisely came back and held to that single. He would have been hosed at second base. Gutierrez flew out to the center fielder back in the 5th inning. He's due for a hit.
Can I call you in like 20 minutes?
First pitch to Jose misses for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to the catcher Gutierrez. There's a launch out to left field. That's going to roll to the fence. Foster comes around
That
second.
could score him.
He's being waved. There's going to be a throw at the plate, but it's not going to be in
Not in
time.
time.
Jose Gutierrez RBI double scores Kyle Foster. Number 9, Sean Kelly.
Vikings showing fight here with now down 6 runs, but nobody out. Runner at second.
Well, that was the power shot we needed by Jose. Not a home run, but a double, and it scored got the RBI. So
The outfielder was swung around to the right with the left-hand batting Gutierrez, and he just poked it down the left field line.
that first pitch, some chin music high and inside to Sean Kelly. 1 ball and no strikes to him. Oh, and that hits him hard. Wow.
Yeah,
That's going to draw a visit to the mound from the coach.
new pitcher for the Tigers, a bit wild.
Yeah, that had to sting. That was a
That one hurt.
full-speed shot, and it looks like it's on the arm or elbow the way that Sean is shaking his left hand.
Yeah, he's definitely shaking his left hand.
And it sounds like you can hear that pop up here, too. Number 15, Braden Chambers.
So 2 runners on with the power hitting Chambers up.
Boy, anything can happen here.
It's not over till it's over.
That pitch way outside for ball 1. The catcher had to stand up, and that almost looked like one of those, pitch outs, an intentional walk. So 1 ball and no strikes to Braden Chambers. 2 on. Nobody out.
Well, that pitch just missed. So now 2 balls and no strikes to Braden. Man, he's just had an incredible game tonight. So glad that so many of his family around the country are tuned in. Fouls that one. 2 balls and 1 strike.
The thing about baseball, it's not over till the last out.
That's true. And the 2-1 pitch outside. Oh, for ball 3. And the catcher was drawing back to throw back to the pitcher, and it just got away from him. Now, this is a little bit unusual. This is a left-handed catcher, Al, and you just don't see a lot of left-handed catchers. And there's a walk, and that loads the bases.
More runners for the Vikings.
Number 8, Bryce Cox. Al, this is kind of fun. Bryce Cox has had the same walk-up song since he was a freshman. He didn't pick one out. I was talking to him about it. Known him since elementary school age, and I said, how about TNT? And he goes, yeah, I like that, and he's used it ever since. Swing and a miss for strike 1. But now with the bases loaded.
So big opportunity for the Vikings here. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Nobody out and the bases loaded. That pitch misses for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's funny. The baseball boys, they're all yelling, and it's her boyfriend. No, it's Will.
1 ball and 1 strike. Bases loaded. Oh, that curveball caught the outside corner.
That had some movement on it.
Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Oh,
got him swinging.
Yep. And there's a strikeout. Number 20, Preston Gomez. So Preston Gomez, 1 for 2 at the plate and a walk. So he's 2 for 3 as far as plate appearances tonight. Doing his part offensively. Now has a chance with the bases loaded and 1 out. Swings and fouls that first one straight back over the umpire's head to the net. Starts off no balls and 1 strike.
Gomez a little frustrated there. He had his pitch and he had a good cut, just missed it.
Yep, just got under it enough to undercut it and send it backwards. No balls and 1 strike to Gomez. That pitch well outside. Now it's 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Preston Gomez having a good appearance here in his first varsity game. Looking to see if he can keep some offense going here at the bottom of the 7th. And swing and a miss for a strikeout.
Vikings now down to their last out.
Number 7, Brendan Schaefer. Brendan Schaefer is going to come up here. Like you say, Al, there's 1 out left in the game so far. Swing and a miss for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Bases loaded.
Pitcher for the Tigers now settling into rhythm, Brown.
They were struggling a little bit for the first batter or 2. Tips that one foul, and it goes back over the catcher's head and the umpire's shoulder to the wall. Looks like Mason Womack is on deck. He came out to get that ball, so I know sometimes Mason's family in Florida, I think it's Ken and Francine, are sometimes listening. Hope they're tuned in tonight. That pitch goes outside. That had some movement on it. That thing broke about 1.5 feet.
Yeah, pitcher Brown has a lot of movement on his pitches.
1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs, bases loaded. Foul ball. stays alive at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and that's fouled away.
Staying alive at the plate.
Yep, finding some ways to foul him off, protecting the plate, doing what he's supposed to do with that 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Oh, I flinched. That thing came straight back and hit the pole that's right basically in front of us. And as long as I've been doing this, I still do that sometimes. Stays alive again. Here comes another 1-2 pitch. That's well outside.
Way outside.
Count evens up at 2-2. Man, I'm nervous up here for this situation. I can only imagine what goes through a teenager's mind at the plate, bottom of the 7th, bases loaded. And a swing and miss for strike 3, and that's going to end the game. The final score, 10-4. We'll be back in just a moment with some final observations. Well, Al, a tough night for the Vikings here. I wouldn't say it was definitely a must-win situation, but now it sets up kind of a must-win Friday night at Mansfield because now we are 3-4 in district play.
Yeah, so after a good, strong start by the Vikings, that second run 6 really proved to be too much for the Vikings to overcome. Wound up with a score of 10-4. There were a lot of bright spots for the Vikings.
We got some power hitting shown with Braden Chambers with that 2-run homer.
Yeah.
Preston Gomez had a good hit. Jose got the RBI double. Unfortunately, a lot of our hits were spread out, 1 per inning for a while or 2 per inning.
Yeah.
Hopefully by Friday night we'll be able to collect them together. Go ahead.
Yeah, a number of runners left on base. We just couldn't string the hits together until the 7th there, and then it was too late and not enough at that point. But
And defensively, the Vikings did well. Maybe only 1 error here or there. And I'll tell you, though, aside from that second inning, outstanding pitching from both Bryce Cox and William Bell. And when I say aside from that second inning, Bryce did a great job. They just hit it sometimes.
Yeah.
He did hit a batter, and he walked 1. But there were some base hits, and that's where they scored the 6 runs.
Yeah, some
that
solid
made the
hits.
difference in the game.
Solid hits for the Tigers in that second.
Yeah.
You got to tip your cap to them. It was a good inning for them.
But once again, Al, thanks for making it to the booth tonight after you were donating some of your time to some young up-and-coming golfers in Fort Worth. I want to say thank you again to Jay Ryan, our producer, in that undisclosed location bunker and making sure all this stuff happens technically well. I'm Bill Frawley.
I'm Al Quammen.
Until next time, VFND.